When we think of studying abroad, we think of USA, UK, Germany, Australia, Canada. इतनी सारी countries है, but we never think of Malaysia. But did you know the cost of studying in Malaysia is way lower than India? And at the same time, the salaries in Malaysia are way higher than India. You know, Malaysia में, after purchasing power parity, the salaries can go up to $150,000. That is how great this country can be. And at the same time, it can be cheaper than India. Studying here can be, studying here is actually cheaper than India. So in this video, we're going to talk about one of the best business schools in Malaysia, Asia School of Business. And at the same time, we're going to talk about salaries, cost, scholarship, and everything you need to know about studying in Malaysia. Whenever you think of Asia, you usually think that the country would be an average country. The salaries would not be that amazing. But did you know, Malaysia is first of all a high income country. At the same time, their passport is amongst the strongest in the world. You think of we want to get United States citizenship, right? Malaysian passport is a stronger passport than a United States passport. And at the same time, salaries are insanely good. Now, with regards to visa, US is making it extremely hard for Indians to get a visa. Germany does not want a lot of immigrants. Australia, 60% visa rejection rate, and at the same time, Canada, 80% visa rejection rate. Malaysia is one country where, as a tourist, Indian can come 30-day visa-free. Amongst the best study abroad destinations, Malaysia is the only country that has that. And at the same time, to get a work permit after you complete your degree here, you get a 1-year visa to search for a job, and eventually to get a work permit here is so much easier as even compared to Singapore. Even Singapore is harder to get a work permit in as opposed to Malaysia. Now first, let's talk about the cost of studying in Malaysia. Now the tuition fees can go from 5 lakh rupees to 35 lakh rupees depending on the university to university. But most importantly, if we talk about cost of living, right now we're in the center of Kuala Lumpur, one of the most expensive cities in Malaysia. And at Asia School of Business, in the center of Kuala Lumpur, your rent would be 1300 ringgit, which is somewhere around 25,000 to 30,000 Indian rupees per month in an extremely amazing apartment which is newly built. Now, considering that the minimum wage in Malaysia is 1700 ringgit, minimum, bare minimum. A skilled minimum wage should be somewhere around 3,000 ringgit. Like someone with some brains should be making at least 3,000 ringgit. So you'll be able to cover all your expenses, living expenses. Plus, you will also be able to give towards your tuition fees. That is how cheap it is to live in Malaysia. Other than that, it is also one of the safest countries in the world, and at the same time, it is just 4.5-hour flight away from India. And at the same time, your health insurance, your visa cost, all of that is covered usually by the university. Like ASB covers all your other expenses. Where if you thought about going to UK, you have to pay visa fees, and they usually are so high. Even in Australia, the visa fee is now 2 lakh rupees. But all of that is covered by the university here. ASB covers all of it. Now, the craziest thing usually with these Malaysian universities, like Asia School of Business, is this. In collaboration with MIT Sloan. Usually no one tells you this, but this is basically a backdoor entry to MIT Sloan MSMS program. If that doesn't happen, Yale ka MAM should definitely happen. But wait, obviously you will have to apply again, go through the entire application process, make sure you meet the application requirements, get a good GMAT score and do all of those things, clear the interview. But your chances are astronomically higher after this degree. Also, we're so central that there you see KL Towers. We're literally in this city center. This is how central this building is. That is KL Tower right in front of us. Wait, I just realized it's called Petronas Tower. Yeah, the same thing, the famous one in Malaysia. That's right there. And having said that, इतनी मेहनत कर रहा हूँ, तुमने अभी भी सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया. Imagine how heartbreaking that would be. Now, talking about average salary after a master's degree in Malaysia should be somewhere around 7 to 8,000 ringgit, which is somewhere around 150 to 170,000 rupees. At the same time, your cost of living would be somewhere around 4,000 ringgit. So every month, you should be saving somewhere around 3,000 ringgit every month. That is around 60 to 65,000 rupees per month. So that compounds to somewhere around 7 lakh rupees for 1 year. And that is your final savings in this country after a year. But that is when you just graduate. Now, if I specifically talk about ASB, their average salary after 3 years, after purchasing power parity is 2,40,000 ringgit. 50 lakh rupees is what you will be making in Malaysia. After all your expenses, taxes and everything considered, you should still be saving around 20 lakh rupees after doing a degree from here after 3 years of your graduation. Another good thing about Malaysia is the taxes. Now, eventually, if you are in the highest income bracket, you will be paying 30% tax. If you're making more than 4 crore rupees, that is when you enter the highest bracket, and then you will be paying 30% taxes. Unlike in India, where you start paying almost 33% taxes right after you start making 14-15 lakh rupees. So, yeah, it's actually really good as compared to India, because here you start paying 30% once you make more than 4 crore, actually 4.5 crore रुपए. Okay, now let's talk about the pros of studying in Malaysia. First, definitely lower cost, which we talked about. Second, you get a US or a UK degree without the price tag. Here, I mean, you can get into this school and then do another degree in US at MIT or Yale, which would be considerably cheaper than doing a 2-year degree at Yale or MIT. Third point, while all the Western countries are stopping Indian immigration, Malaysia isn't. Like, it is still way much more easier for you to move to Malaysia with one of the strongest passports in the world. Fourth, it is safer, close to home. You can just take a flight home 4.5 hours away. And at the same time difference is not huge. Like, I remember when I was in US and I used to talk to my parents, it used to be like night for them, day for me, night for them. So it was so hard to connect with them here. 2.5 hour time difference. So you could call your parents literally anytime you want. Next, Kuala Lumpur is also one of the most cosmopolitan cities in the world. So you would find all the cultures and all the traditions here. So you would never feel alone. If you're a Hindu, it's good for you. If you're a Muslim, it's good for you. So you would feel safe here, which is one of the most important things if you're young and you want to study abroad. Next, scholarships. We didn't talk about scholarships, but Malaysia is also known to give out scholarships. Not fully funded scholarships that you think in US. No, because the tuition fees is already very low. So they don't give out extremely large scholarships, but they do give out scholarships. You know what you can do? You can fill the form in the description. I will ask my team to get in touch with you, and I will also ask ASB team to get in touch with you once and see, first of all, are you eligible to apply here? Second, would you be eligible for a scholarship? And you would get to know everything from our end. So yeah, filling the form in description is a must if you're considering Malaysia as a study abroad destination. Dude, it's also hot. That reminds me, Malaysia also has its cons. So let's talk about all the cons inside because it's so hot outside today. Having talked about all the pros, there's still a few cons about studying in Malaysia. First, it is not as globally recognized as a US or a UK degree. Malaysia is still not well recognized. There are only 5,000 students that are studying in Malaysia right now. So getting a job in Malaysia would be very easy after a good degree in Malaysia. But if you're considering to get a job in India, that might be slightly harder. But at the same time, Malaysia also opens doors of Singapore and Dubai for you. So that's also one thing you can take into consideration. Second, if you're planning to study at a public university in Malaysia, it's going to be very hard. Getting admission in a public university as an international student is usually harder, and at the same time getting a job in public sector in Malaysia with government is usually harder for international students. So that is one thing that you have to keep in mind. And at the same time, ASB is also not an easy admission. But yeah, we can try to help you with that. Again, asking you, fill the form in the description and my team can help you with this entire process as well. Third, which we already talked about, it's so hot. Like, yeah, I shouldn't be showing you me sweating, but it's hot. Yeah. Fourth, the rankings here are still not as amazing as the rankings that you will see in US. You won't find a lot of universities here in the ranking system. So if good ranking university is all you're looking for, it'll be hard to find a few Malaysian universities in those rankings. Fifth, when it comes to networking, it might just be a bit harder to network here because the networking ecosystem in general would be smaller as compared to bigger universities which have been out there since past 100 years with huge networks. Next, not a lot of companies here have their headquarters here, but yes, again, you can get a job in Singapore and Dubai if you want. But again, if you want to get a job in Malaysia, then fewer headquarters set up, especially in Kuala Lumpur, because a lot of them just usually move to Singapore. Next point, which no one will tell you, right now for Indians getting a scholarship in any country is becoming very hard because कौन पढ़ रहे हैं बाहर? Indian students ही बाहर पढ़ने जा रहे हैं. तो for an Indian, it is getting harder to get scholarships. But I'm telling you, अभी के time पे भी, if you're applying to ASB, there is some sort of scholarship that you should be getting. If you have a decent, good profile, you should be getting some scholarship. Again, you can fill the form and we will see what ASB team thinks about your profile. Form description mein. Next, one thing you have to keep in mind is the earlier you apply, the better are your chances of getting an admission here, and at the same time getting funding agar milne wali, and at the same time you get a 3-week program to go to MIT Sloan. उनके मेन कैंपस में जहाँ पे आप कर रहे हैं ना, सारा वो लोग कवर करने वाले हैं. यू जस्ट हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ योर फ्लाइट्स, यू हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ योर वीज़ा. बाकी सब लोग, बाकी सारे ऑलमोस्ट खर्चे वो लेने वाले हैं. हाँ, यू विल हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ योर इंसिडेंटल्स, एंड एट द सेम टाइम इसके अलावा दे हैव अ 1 month प्रोजेक्ट जो कि किसी और एशिया की कंट्री में हो सकता है, जहाँ पे आपको सिंगापुर जाना हो सकता है, कहीं और साउथ ईस्ट एशिया की कंट्री में जाना हो सकता है, एंड वहाँ पे हेडक्वार्टर्स में एक कंपनी के आप वहाँ काम कर रहे होगे. अगेन, सारे खर्चे ये लोग देखने वाले हैं. यू जस्ट हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ योर फ्लाइट्स. वीज़ा तो यूजुअली एशियन कंट्रीज़ में लगता नहीं है, एंड इंसिडेंटल्स बाकी सब ये लोग कवर करने वाले हैं. दिस इज़ इंटरेस्टिंग. ऐसे कैपस्टोन प्रोजेक्ट्स ऑक्सफोर्ड में भी नहीं थे. Also, one thing very interesting which I found in this program, which you would not usually find in a lot of programs, is the gender ratio. Usually when you go for an MBA, you will see male always dominating the class, being 60%, 70%. Here, women are 56%, which is actually something that makes me extremely happy. International cohort, obviously you will get 50%, 55% international cohort in almost all the MBA schools. So not something very interesting. That's everywhere. But the male to female ratio is something very, very good. Something that makes me really happy. Also, the average work experience for an MBA classroom is 7 years. But yeah, there are people who have gotten in with 3 years and 4 years, even 2 years of experience. So it's worth to apply. Next, talking about the size of cohort. Usually, Malaysia has a smaller size of cohort as opposed to Singapore. Singapore cohort size can go up to 100 students. Malaysia usually has like a cohort size of 60. So the class is much more intimate, like much more smaller. So if you like one-on-one, a lot more personalized connection, then Malaysia is the place for you. Now to do an apple-to-apple comparison, let's talk about studying in Singapore versus studying in Malaysia. Talking about the tuition fees first, tuition fees of studying in Singapore will be double. Minimum double than tuition fees of studying in Malaysia, or else it can go 3 or 4 times depending on the university to university, but yes, minimum double. So here we'll have to give points to Malaysia as opposed to Singapore. Second, living expenses in Malaysia should be max to max $1,000. In Singapore, $1,000 would not even get you one room. No, one room bhi nahi milega. And yes, giving points here, again, Singapore loses, Malaysia wins. But third, talking about salaries in Singapore will in general be higher. So यहाँ पे, yes, definitely Malaysia loses some points. But at the same time, if we talk about the eventual savings that you will do, that'll be much higher in Malaysia as opposed to Singapore. Fourth, post-study work visa. In both the countries, Singapore as well as Malaysia, you get a 12-month post-study work visa. But getting a PR in Singapore used to be easy. Now, extremely hard. Same in Malaysia. Malaysia is also not going to be very PR friendly country, but Singapore to Indians ke liye it's a no brainer to like nahi milne wala PR unless you plan to marry a Singaporean citizen. So considering points here, I don't think we can give points to either one of those because it's hard. Getting a PR at both the places is hard, but getting a job offer for an Indian student would be much easier in Malaysia as opposed to Singapore just because of the competition. There are too many Indians looking for jobs in Singapore, too many graduate Indians looking for jobs in Singapore. That too, the country is really small. Malaysia is a huge country, a lot of sectors in the country. So yeah, in terms of finance, Singapore will still be a better country, but in terms of anything and everything else, Malaysia might actually be a better option. Now, while we're at the topic of long term, Malaysia mein, let's suppose you're graduating from ASB, 92% placement rate within 3 months of graduation. And at the same time, अगर Singapore में बात करेंगे, तो yes, there are some places where you can get really high placement rates as well, but overall somewhere around 80%. So that's another good option. यहाँ से you also get options of working in Dubai, Singapore, and a lot of other Asian countries. And also after going to MIT Sloan, doing a 1-year degree from there, you get a STEM degree. So you get 3-year post-study work visa to work in US. That's insane. After a degree from MIT and then 3-year post-study work visa in US. That's a very good option. Next point where Singapore usually wins is Singapore has some highly ranked universities, which is not the case with Malaysia. So with ASB, you get still covered because it has a strong collaboration. But on the other hand, with other Malaysian universities, it's still a bit tricky. If you're just purely looking at it from a perspective of QS rankings, you wouldn't find a lot of QS rankings here. On the other hand, NUS in itself, NTU, they have very good position in Singapore and as well as entire Asia. For those of you who think कि मलेशिया भी आगे एडवांस नहीं हुआ है, ये बिल्ली है, बोलती है stop touching my ears, खाना लेकर आई है, waffle fries,
Like, who that up to stop?
cutie,
Yes.
Stop touching my ears.
चल जा, bye. Now overall, should you apply to Malaysia or not? It is a no-brainer. Right now, Malaysian universities have no application fee. Asia School of Business, 0 application fees. You can send your application and yeah, you can see what are the offers you get, whether you get a scholarship or not, how much is the scholarship, whether you get an admit or not. It's a no-brainer. At least apply, see what are the options that you get and then decide whether you want to go or not. Also wait, if you liked this video, probably you would want to watch this video where I spend an entire day in Singapore and talk about the university in Singapore. This video, click here.